Welcome to the Kween Conversations Podcast, the official podcast of United Queendom. I'm Teddi Rene, the career champion and founder of United Queendom. I used to wait and let life happen to me and was lost with no real career goals. Like so many other women, I was just happy to have a job at all. I never negotiated my salary or even knew that I could, even though I struggled as a single mother to take care of my kids and to run my small business. But one day I had enough and I quit my job. Little did I know, this experience would give me the confidence and tools I needed to take control of my career and my life. I went from depending on food stamps to feed my family to making more than 6 figures in less than 2 years. And now I'm helping other women do it too. So join me every episode as me and my guests invite you on our journey and give you tips, tools, and guidance to take control of your life and live it the way that you decide. Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome. Did you miss me? I missed you. Welcome back to the Kween Conversations Podcast. We are in season 3. Guys, I am just amazed at how this podcast has been growing for me, considering that it's not like something that I do full time. It's not something I do every week. It's not something that I have put 200% into. And I just keep showing up and doing what I can, the best that I can, and learning more and growing more. And, you know, it's humbling and an honor that people are even listening to this. Like, I love it. And that the guests that I am reaching out to and people are reaching out to me, like, it's surreal. But I'm so proud of myself. We have been growing in downloads. We haven't hit like 1 million or anything near that. However, when you start something like this, you don't really expect anyone to listen. So when one person turns to 10 people and 10 people turns to 100 people and 100 people turn to 2,500 people, that's still like, it's still shocking, like in the best way. So, you know, for those of you guys returning, joining me again, welcome back. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I am so blessed and fortunate to have you in my network and within this community. Thank you for all of your support, for all of your continued interactions, for those who email me or DM me, who text me and tell me how important the episodes are for you and how they helped you and just right on time they've been. I truly appreciate every single one of you guys. So thank you. We are back for season 3. And for those of you who are joining me for the first time, hey, how are you? Who are you? Send me a DM, drop me an email, let me know, talk to me. Thank you for joining us. I am so happy to have you. I hope that you are able to take something from this podcast and use it for your own benefit and to achieve your own unique and personal, professional, or just individual goals. And then also share it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your coworkers. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, like almost everywhere. iHeartRadio, all of that. And a little later in the show, I will tell you how you guys can help me and the podcast be a little more visible while also earning yourself a free gift. Yes. So stay tuned for that. All right. So before we get started with today's show, I just wanted to address a couple of things, open items from last season. So season 2 ended just as abruptly as season 1 did. If you guys remember, season 1, it took me weeks, maybe like a month to kind of end the season with like a final farewell episode. And then for season 2, I just kind of disappeared. Life happened. Schedule got really busy. I was still having technical difficulties. You guys know I lost a few episodes last season. It was just very time consuming. So I just cut my losses and cut the season. Fortunately, I did only have the one farewell episode left to do. So yeah, that was it. We got through the whole season, just no goodbye. But moving forward, what I've learned from that is that I am just not a number of episodes type of podcaster. We all know that I am not a year-round podcaster. I don't do an episode every week for a certain amount of weeks. I am a seasonal podcaster. So you guys will get 2 seasons of the Kween Conversations podcast for as long as I can manage that. And whereas my goal was to do 10 or 15 or 20 episodes per season, which was the goal for last season, my goal is just to put out the content that I think is important, that is timely, that is relevant, that is engaging, and that will help you through whatever is going on at that time. So right now, a lot of that listener-focused content would be around COVID-19. And we'll get into that a little bit later today. That's essentially what the whole episode's about. So, navigating your career during this time, figuring out how to be a full-time employee and a full-time homeschooler for those parents out there, and just whatever it is that I feel that you guys need or that I see that you need through social media, interactions, email responses, etc. So that is what we are going to be doing now. So I don't know how many episodes you guys will get. You'll definitely get 10. I don't know where the season will end with all of the uncertainty of the current climate, economically, career-wise, in the workplace and all of that. But I can say that the season will run essentially April through June. So yeah. Speaking of last season and the lost episodes of season 2, for those of you who may have missed it, I was able to recover an episode from season 2 that I had lost. So I lost a handful of episodes last season, recorded episodes with guests. So I was able to recover one with guest Jacqueline Smith. And I did upload that to SoundCloud. It should be on Apple Podcasts now, iTunes, all of those good things from last season. I think that leaves me with, or left me with 2 episodes that were not recovered, and I was so devastated. Well, guys, the devil did not win because I was able to recover yet another episode. All right, so I have a lost episode with Miss Jeannie Dawkins that I am currently reviewing. Really good conversation. I'm going to listen to it. I'll upload it. It won't be super edited. It'll probably not have an intro or an outro. It'll literally most likely just be the interview. I'm excited about that, but I'm also excited about this episode. So let's get into it. All right. All right. So what have I been up to? So I'm not going to make this really long. I recorded this episode. I re-recorded it like 3 or 4 times. I'm re-recording it again for about the 4th time because I am working on producing the podcast using GarageBand, which, if you know me, is kind of ass backwards because I started with using Zoom and then editing in Adobe Audition. But for me being an Apple chick, I've had Apple products. I've had an iMac. I've had a MacBook. I've had Apple, I had iPhone first generation. So for me not to have used GarageBand from the jump is kind of ass backwards for me. However, here we are. And of course, I love everything about it. It takes very minimal editing and I love it. But I am still learning how to use it. So I kind of recorded over some content, basically most of this episode yesterday. So I'm re-recording it again. But what I have been up to lately has all been shifted thanks to COVID-19. So I was really excited about telling you guys, giving you guys a summary of 2019 and how my career coaching and career counseling services have been going with my clients. I want to talk about Billy's birthday and Xavier's baseball and all those things. I guess I'll still talk about it. So just quickly though, right? So last year I was able to help 11 Black men and women, 8 women, 3 men to find new careers and roles. And of those 11, the average salary increased because yes, they found jobs. Yes, they got hired, but the average salary increase for all of them was about $38,000. That's amazing, right? What could you do with an extra $38,000? And one guy, like, we were able to get him a $110,000 increase in 4 months. Yes, increase. Also, the average number of interviews that my clients had or went on before getting hired was 3. Just a few notes about the people that I worked with and that saw this type of success, because these are very common issues that I am seeing with people who are coming to me for help. So they were all very clear on what they wanted to do. We did not have to spend a lot of time clarifying the types of jobs they wanted, the industry they wanted to be in. A lot of them knew for sure what company they wanted to work for. And it was just a matter of framing their expertise and their skills to present them as a value and asset to that company. Most of them were already applying to jobs before we started working together. So I don't really have the metrics on how many job applications they put in before they were hired or before they were offered a new job. But that is something that I'm focused on tracking for this year. I was able to revise resumes, but only for about 3 of them. They had excellent resumes. A lot of them were getting interviews. They couldn't ace the interview. And then a couple of them were getting offers, but those companies were not trying to pay them what they wanted to pay. So we worked on those things for the most part. But for the 3 that we did do resumes for, they were absolutely looking for a new job in a completely new industry, specifically tech jobs, non-technical, so functional jobs within the information technology space. And yeah, I mean, that, like, I'm talking about this because I'm really proud. Not only am I very proud of myself for making the career transition on my own and finding my own success, but now I'm like, I know I set out to help people do the same thing, but like when you actually help people, like when you actually take your knowledge and convince other people to apply that knowledge to their lives, and then they see the results that you expected, and it's like in a really good way, like it's an amazing feeling. Like it's a wonderful feeling to serve the people that you set out to serve in the way that benefits them. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my clients. 2019 was a year. Okay. So while that was not my original goal, I set a really big goal, just to set a goal, just to have something to strive for. But it definitely helped me to shape my goal for 2020, which is to help 30 mothers increase their income by at least 20% and achieve financial stability. That is my goal for this year. What else have I been doing? So I've been navigating and planning my own career. As you guys know, I did accept my newest job, November of 2018. So upcoming is my first annual review, like my real annual review with this company. So I'm navigating that. I'm doing all of my strategic planning. I have information, that exhibits my value and the work that I've done and what I've contributed to the company thus far. Plus having a few things to leverage as well, just to make sure that things go the way that I would like them to go. So I'll let you guys know what happens with that. A lot has changed in that area due to COVID-19. So yeah, reworking that and readjusting my expectations. One thing that I also have noticed or recognized or realized, I guess I should say, is that when people feel like or think that you made it, like because maybe your salary increased dramatically and now you're making 6 figures, they assume that making it means that your life is fine, that financially you are A-okay. And that's a really common misconception, because whatever damage you did to your credit, whatever financial issues you had before you had the income to achieve or to, live the lifestyle that you want to live, those things don't go away. You still have to recover. So recovery mode is like that space between not having enough or not doing right and getting your shit together. Like, it's the part where you get your shit together, and it is stressful, y'all. Okay. Because here you are with this extra money and you want to, in your mind, it's like, it makes no sense that I still don't have more. Repairing things often is harder than it was to break. It's easier to break it than to repair it. So just keep that in mind too, as you guys are setting your own financial and career goals, that even when you make it, even when you achieve your goal, you still have work to do. You have to recover whatever it was that you have broken financially, career-wise, personally. You have to fix that. And then you can start moving forward to living the life that you really, really want to live. But there's always responsibility that we have to take care of and address in a very short way. Right. So pray for me because the recovery and the restoration process is definitely challenging and we'll leave it there. So like I said earlier, my Billy Bear, he had a birthday, and her birthday was literally, we were planning to go to the National Aquarium in Baltimore the Saturday following her birthday. And literally that Thursday or Friday, I think it was that Thursday, but that Thursday is when everything started shutting down due to coronavirus. And it sucks because we've been waiting. We've been waiting for Billy's birthday. I'm glad we didn't have a vacation planned this year because boy, oh boy, the situation could have been a lot different. We would have been traveling at that time. But a lot of we were waiting for her birthday so we could celebrate. We were waiting for spring baseball season for Xavier to start. He was excited. Clearly that didn't happen. I was waiting for vacation. I had a business trip for work that got canceled for the following week. Yeah, so I've just been waiting. I've been waiting for some books to come out. And then here comes COVID-19. And at first I thought it was interesting because, it wasn't portrayed as if it was this super, super really dramatic thing. Like it was going to be as serious as it is. At least that's not the way the American media was making it out to be. I'm sitting here reading things and preparing content about how, millennials and Generation Zers are still traveling. They're picking up super cheap flights. There was an article on Facebook where the headline was like, or the quote was like, if I die, I die. Flight deals were everywhere. The president was like, it's all right, it'll go away. But then it was like, at the same time, the stock exchange was like temporarily halted. They just stopped trading. And then like South by Southwest, Coachella, and like other major conferences and music festivals and things were postponing and canceling or postponing until October. And it was like, shit, so this is kind of serious. But at the same time, people weren't taking it that serious. Now here we are, 3 weeks later. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, that's that's a whole nother segment. So let's get into that. Hey, it's Teddi, and I need a favor. So for 2020 as a decade, my word, the overall theme is visibility, and I need your help to do that. If you would be so kind as to leave a genuine review of the Kween Conversations podcast on Apple Podcasts, then I will send you a free Kween Conversations podcast t-shirt from Paraphernalia University. To claim your free t-shirt, simply send a screenshot of your review with your size, your name, and shipping address to freetee@teddirene.com. That's FREETEE at teddirene.com. So just to recap, send a screenshot of your Apple Podcast review for the Kween Conversations podcast and get a free t-shirt from Paraphernalia University. Thank you so much for your help and your support. Today is March 30th, 2020, and we are going on week 3 of the COVID-19 crisis here in the United States. As of today, Maryland, DC, and Virginia all have been placed on shelter-in-place orders, and I think that it's a really good thing. So originally, we got notice that schools would be closed for 2 weeks. Basically go out as you need to. They were giving us direction to, first it went from don't be in places of 100 people or more. Then it quickly went to 50 people or more. And then just as quickly went to 10 people or more. I'm seeing, and I'm going to say this very bluntly, inconsiderate idiots throwing parties, sheltering in place with large numbers of people, going on about their lives as if it's business as usual. And I honestly feel like this is a case of where like your siblings get in trouble, and since nobody will confess to doing whatever damage to mom's vase, that everybody gets punished and nobody can go outside, or one kid acts up and everyone is suffers the consequences. I feel like that's where we are, but I also feel like it's necessary because it's like people have blame like mass hysteria. Oh, they're saying this, it's not true. But people are like really losing their lives. People are losing their family members. And even if it's not true, like, why is it not human nature to err on the side of caution versus to be contrarian to, like, why do we have to push and resist? And I know that anyone listening to this, who ever knew me as a child or as a young adult, like growing up, this is probably sounds super shocking to you that I am saying this, because that was me. I was the contrarian. Anything that the masses like, I had to like the opposite. Anything that authority said, I went the other way. Like, that was me. That was my whole like shit. But no, honestly, like at this point, it's so much bigger than yourself and ego. Like, this is a worldwide thing. So I don't know. I just can't wrap my mind around the thought process of those still out there just not being as safe as they could be. But as far as, how I'm doing, how the kids are doing, we're doing pretty good. The kids, they have their moments where they get bored and they get whiny and they start bickering with each other. But we've been pretty occupied. We've had our own separate space from each other. We've had a lot of time together. Essentially, it's like Saturday every day here, where parts of the day we're hanging out together, watching TV or playing games. And then parts of the day we don't talk to each other because we're all in our own spaces doing our own things and decompressing. And then parts of the day I'm working with them on something. It could be academic. It could be, thought provoking. It could be brain games, just something to get their minds, moving. That's literally a typical weekend around here. So we've been doing well. Where I have not been doing well is finding regular groceries, because everyone is freaking out and my normal grocery items are sold out, leaving me to have to purchase more processed products, like for my main meals and things. So where I normally would get like fish and chicken and beef and, turkey, I now have to get like turkey breast battered breasts or chicken fish sticks, like just like those frozen freezer things. Yeah, so those things of course cost a little more. So my little grocery budget has gone up a bit. I am not an essential employee, so I have been working from home. The kids' daycare, originally they were offering care and then like doing their best to stay open. Then it was, now it's essential personnel, employees only. And, you have to have a letter or something designating you as such. So as of 8 p.m. today, March 30th, the state of Maryland residents are not to be out in the streets any day while we are doing this shelter in place mandate. If anyone is out past those times, it could be, I think they said up to a year and $500 to $5,000 fine. And then I read about this fool, I think it was in Montgomery County, who had two parties, bruh. So Montgomery County currently has, as of 10 a.m. today, 341 cases, leading the number of cases in the state of Maryland, confirmed cases, 294 cases in Prince George's County, 186 in Baltimore County, 152 in Baltimore City. Yes, those are two separate ones. For those of you who don't know, there's the county and there's the city. 110 in Arundel County, 96 in Howard County, 82 in Carroll County, and then we live in Charles County, and there are 33 confirmed cases here. There are two counties in Maryland, Allegheny and Dorchester, who have 0 confirmed cases, and quite a few who have under, double digits, which is great. So I think that Governor Hogan has handled this very well. He's essentially done daily press conference updates. We've seen his face, we've heard his voice, we know what they're talking about, we know when to somewhat expect decisions on certain areas. We were told last week that schools would be closed now until the end of April, kind of mirroring what DC public schools had put in place a little bit before PG County, or a little bit before Maryland, I should say. I keep forgetting I don't live in PG County anymore. I live in Charles County. But, I think that we all just need to sit our asses down. I mean, just in the most polite black mama way possible. Sit your asses down. Just sit your ass down. Don't touch nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't talk to nobody. Don't ask for nothing. Just sit your ass down until we get done and then be done. Just get in, get out, and be done with it. I think that is what we need right now. So I'm okay with the mandates. I think that being in this current mental space that am in, like learning how to live out here away from everyone and not seeing my favorite people all the time. And, just the major changes that I went through moving to Waldorf from PG County has absolutely prepared me for this. Like, I'm already isolated. I'm already away from everyone. I'm already rarely see people and rarely go out the house. I was already working from home, 2 to 4 days a week. So yeah, it's not a major change for me, but I am very aware that it is a drastic change for other people, and I 100% feel for them. I just pray that everyone's being as safe as they can be. I pray that, all of those of us who are still here, remain here, and those who have lost family members and those who have lost their lives, are absolutely in my prayers. I am interested to see how this will end, when this will end, and the state of the world when this ends. Very specifically, Mother Nature, how this earth will heal during this time. I've seen videos and pictures where they say, or they're claiming that China has less pollution and smog, and in India, endangered species that were endangered and haven't been seen for decades have now been seen in the streets. And I'm curious to see, number one, if those are correct and if they can be confirmed. And number two, I want to see the before and after statistics or the data of what the environment was like. I absolutely believe that the earth will cleanse itself, whether we like it or not. And this may just be our initial warning shot. Hey, get y'all asses together. Y'all are killing me. Sit your ass at home before something really happens and we're all wiped out. But I'm very interested to see the data as far as the health of the earth when all of this is done. Also very interested to see how the fall goes with, their predictions that we won't return back to our normal way of living until the middle or end of summer. And lots of things, the one year I decided that I'm actually going to go out and be seen and do things in the summer and go to events and have fun and resurface, then all of this happened. So I'm curious to see all the tickets and all the events that I have purchased, how they are going to manage the big shift to the end of the year. Also how the economy works that way, because everything's moving to October as if Christmas and the holidays are not right on its ass. So I'm very interested to see how all of that works out. I myself don't plan on going to anything that I normally wouldn't go to in the fall. So with the exception of speaking engagements and things, so everything I purchase a ticket to, if they give me the option to refund, I'm absolutely going to refund, because the end of the year is usually my financial death trap. That is where I literally have to say, okay, we're either going to go all out, and get all the stuff that we want to get for the kids and plan for the beginning of the year and pay all these things off so that come the beginning of the year or tax time, it's not there. And it never seems to work out for me that way. So this year I'm absolutely conscious of what I do at the end of my year. So that fourth quarter of the year, so that come first quarter, I'm not struggling to catch up. For last Christmas, if you guys remember, I didn't do the big Christmas gift thing. I told my kids that once the new year came in and, we paid rent on the first, because, rent's due right after Christmas, then, we would do a resolution reward. So for all the resolutions we stuck to for 2019, we would go then in 2020 and reward ourselves with what they would have gotten for Christmas or what we would have gotten ourselves. So we did that and it worked out great. My kids were very understanding, and I actually appreciate that of them, but also of myself for teaching them the importance of financial responsibility. So if that's what we have to do again this year, so be it. But we were planning on being on a Disney cruise, to Mexico for New Year's Eve this year, seeing the fireworks on the boat. So we'll see. I am interested to see how travel will bounce back, mainly because I need a vacation. like nobody's business. I need some time away. So I am desperate for this to end so that we can move forward. But yeah. So COVID-19, yeah, guys, it's one hell of a time to be alive. That's for damn sure. But I will say this though. Lots of people are fearing for their jobs. I learned something new during this time. I learned that your salary, I should have known this, but like not only is your job not secure and not guaranteed, but bonuses are not guaranteed, annual increases are not guaranteed. I knew all that, but I didn't realize until someone told me that their job actually cut their salary. Like I've heard of, companies' leadership taking pay cuts to help balance out the payroll and all of the expenses that they lose during some of these economic shifts. But I didn't realize that they actually cut employees' salary, which, I believe it makes more sense than laying people off. But, it's like we all have to tighten our belts, every employee, not just leadership, which makes sense. Like that method makes that tactical, that strategy makes sense. But I don't know why I didn't think that was actually a possibility. Some people have opted to take severance instead. Some people said, okay, sure, I'll take the pay cut, especially not knowing if that's going to be permanent or not would definitely be more stressful than me not having a job. I don't know why, but I feel like that would be maybe because it's something that I haven't navigated before, I haven't thought of. Maybe because the thought is new, that that's more of a concern for me than actually having no job. I don't know. But yeah, I learned that was new. But what I will say is that regardless of what bailouts or what protections the government is giving to us as citizens for this, I am begging everyone who can, okay? Everyone who can pay their bills to pay your bills. Pay them, because we don't know what's going to happen after this. We don't know if anything's going to be forgiven or if it's going to be reimbursed or if it's going to be delayed, right? We don't know. But in my mind, unless somebody is cutting my landlord a check for my rent is still going to be due. Now, whether I pay it with, the paycheck that I get next Friday, or I take that money and hold on to it and most likely spend it on something else like clothes or movies or, at home nail kits or having my beautician make me a lace front for this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like instead of spending that money or even saying we're going to save that money, if you can pay it, same rules apply. If you can pay it, pay it. Because at the end of this, what I am dreading, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of it, is a lot of people who get to a point where they are going to be evicted or lose their homes due to not being able to pay that back rent on top of their current rent. Like, it's hard enough paying your rent every month, but to have 2, 3, 6 months of delayed rent on top of it, like, that's crazy. Like, I can't imagine. And I'm trying not to imagine. And I pray that none of us are in that situation. I'm doing everything that I can to not be in that situation, like paying my rent when my check comes in. But please, guys, don't take this as just time to bullshit your bills. Pay your bills, okay? Call your companies, see if they'll work with you. But a part of working with you is you working with them, meaning you paying what you can when you can, not when you want to. That financial procrastination, let me tell y'all, it is some shit. It is hard as hell to get out of it. And it's easier to get into it than it is to get out. Trust me. Okay. You guys know I'm still financially recovering from my bad decisions. And, even with making significantly more money than I did in the past, my cost of living has also gone up. So repairing things takes longer, takes more discipline. It's worth it, but it's a struggle. So if you can avoid putting yourself in that situation, avoid it. Please avoid it. All right. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about COVID-19. It's a lot. We were waiting on baseball season. We were waiting to go to the aquarium for Billy's birthday. I was waiting for the weather to break. I was waiting for vacation. My work trip got canceled. Yeah, but I will say that while um, waiting, while all of this has happened, I was waiting for Arlen Hamilton's book, It's About Damn Time, to come out. I pre-ordered it, and during this time, or right before this time happened, I was able to join her book launch team. So all of this, of course, for those who are launching books, has dramatically changed their book tour timing and all of their speaking engagements and things. And Arlen Hamilton, if you guys have never heard me talk about her before, you are shit out of luck, just like deaf, or you just don't listen to me, because I love her. I love everything she's about. I love her story. I love her podcast. I love Backstage Capital. I love it. I love it. I am so inspired by it. So I was able to join her book launch team, and I get a sneak peek at her book, which as soon as I am done recording this, will be reading tonight as my night reading. Even though I didn't finish my books for March, I am just going to swap this out in place of my March book, and because I didn't plan on reading it until May. But yes, It's About Damn Time. Arlen Hamilton. She's the founder and managing partner of Backstage Capital. And they have invested over $7 million in more than 120 companies led by women, people of color, and LGBTQ founders to date, right? So the book drops May 5th, 2020. But you can pre-order your copy at itsaboutdamntime.com. Itsaboutdamntime.com. Ooh, that is like a tongue twister. I'm going to read the book tonight, and I will be back on here, episode 2, if not before, with some information on it, some insights on it, some reviews. I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. More so because it's a business book, but it gives a little bit of her background as well. You guys know I love business with a story. Like that's me all day, right? That's what we're here to do. We're sharing how we found business success through leveraging our own experiences, our own uniqueness to get through those transitional life challenges and changes. So I'm super excited to read It's About Damn Time by Arlen Hamilton. Pre-order it now. Listen to the podcast, Your First Million. She talks about the book. She talks about how she did the audio book recording for it. She's hella excited. I'm hella excited. It's a great podcast. She's a great woman. One day I truly honestly expect to meet her like in real life and like handshake and hug her when, we're COVID free and we can go back to human connection. She's absolutely one of my, on the list of inspiring women making history, and, she's super fucking dope. So that is something that I'm excited about for, during this time. I actually get to sit and read a book that I've been anticipating reading for 2 months. Now if George Johnson would just send me an early copy of his book, Not Our Boys Are Blue, because I'm waiting for that pre-order too, then life would just be perfect for me, because I cannot wait. So that is, that's COVID-19, y'all. All right, let's see. What else do we have to talk about today? So, like I said, a lot of things have been postponed until the fall. So I have had to adjust my schedule. I didn't take any new clients for March, or for quarter 2 of the year. You guys know typically my calendar for my one-on-one services opens the 15th of the last month of the quarter until the 14th of the first month of the quarter. However, with everything going on with COVID-19, I have more so been focused on helping people to ease their anxiety about what's going on with their career and their job search, and looking for resources and information to help people with that. So if you're questioning or concerned about your career or your job or bonuses or salary, or if you were in the midst of your job search and you're wondering what companies, if any, are still hiring, I am pulling together a lot of that information I'm posting a lot of it on my Instagram page at Teddi Rene, teddirene.com/start. I'm uploading new guides and resources and things to help you all manage and navigate this current life challenge, because it's a challenge for a lot of us. It's new territory for a lot of us. The new normal is working from home for the majority of the country. And I didn't realize how big of a deal that was until like last week. I don't know. I guess I assumed that more people had at least experienced working from home. But it's absolutely a place for companies to start rethinking like what the office, quote unquote, office is or looks like moving forward. Because in situations like this, where we have such an abundance of technology for a lot of people, for a lot of companies, they could absolutely sustain and save expenses, cut expenses by allowing their workforce to work from home more often or at all if they're not so far. So I think that we're going to see a major shift in the way companies, number one, plan and prepare for economic catastrophes. Number two, how workplaces are defining the office and what that looks like and what's acceptable and options for more remote work and working from home. I think we'll see a lot more of that. And I also think, and I pray and I hope, maybe it's just my hope and my prayer, but I also think that we'll see a lot more candidates asking the right questions as they are seeking new opportunities. So asking questions like, how did your company respond to the COVID-19 crisis? What supports and resources did you have available for your staff and employees? If that were to happen again, like how would you all ease my concerns and my anxieties about being able to care and take care of my family and responsibilities while navigating, the economic or financial shifts of the company? Like, what is the action plan? What's the contingency? How have you prepared? If you weren't prepared, what have you learned and how will you prepare moving forward? Like the same way that we are being interviewed by the company, I think that a lot more people are actually going to go into these interviews expecting a company to kind of sell them on working for them. We have such a freedom and flexibility of what we do for work and who we work for if we decide to work for anyone, that a lot more people, I think, will be championing their own career, and they will be taking control of their own life, and they will be accepting nothing less than what they decide on. They'll set a number, they'll set some standards in their head, and there will be no non-negotiables. There will be plenty of non-negotiables. And then I think that we'll see a lot of that coming out and playing itself out in the workforce over the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's amazing, and I'm excited. I am truly excited. But we'll see. So my calendar, I have not reopened it. I am giving away a lot of free information and content. I was going to do free resume reviews again, but with all of this, I think I'm just going to, just put together a masterclass, a free masterclass with a lot of the information that I'm pulling together and just helping to point people in the right direction. So for those whose pay may have gotten cut, maybe some refocusing your finances. For those who are still looking for a job and may not know what industries or what companies are still hiring, pointing them to the right direction. For those who are secure in their place or their space in their workplace, but would like to prepare and plan just in case. So those are just a couple of things I'm thinking about, but we'll see. We will definitely see. But yeah, I just want everyone to keep in mind that whatever this current season is, it is just a season. It will pass, and we are all in this life thing together. So none of us are going to get out of this life alive. But while we are here, we should be helping and supporting each other, working through this together, holding those accountable who should be held accountable, the decision makers, the movers, the shakers, Those with money, those with deciding decision powers, they are the ones that we need to be on their asses from this day forward, move it like on their necks right now, right? So right now, what are you going to do for us? How are you going to help us? Do what you need to do, take care of business. And then when this is all done, keeping our foots on their neck when they tell us that they can't afford something, right? So like there's absolutely no reason for anyone to suffer a life less than humanity or humans deserve, if as long as the government has money, because they always have money. Now they have money for everything except for the poor, and that's a fucking problem. Okay, let me go before I get in. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I mean, interesting times, guys. Interesting times. So I'm excited about season 3. The theme for season 3 is building a better tomorrow. So that's the whole season. We are talking to people who are building businesses and startups and organizations and VC funds and things to help build a better tomorrow. As we are facing the COVID-19 crisis, we see lots of room for improvement. We see lots of areas where we could have been better prepared. We see lots of area for growth, and lots of areas where we are currently being challenged. And wherever there's a challenge, there is also an opportunity. So we will be talking to lots of people, some guests this season I'm super excited about, some of my fellow Founder Gym graduates from my cohort and other cohorts. I have a couple of very inspiring, amazing founders coming onto the show. You guys have absolutely no idea how stoked and amped I am for this season, because building a better tomorrow, like it could not have come at a more perfect time. I'm so excited, guys. You guys have absolutely no idea. All right, guys. So it is time for the Go Getter tip. Not of the week, not of the month, but of the moment. All right. And this is just a very personal Go Getter tip. It's something that I pray that everyone under the sound of my voice will take heed to, will live by, right? Will apply to their current lives. And it's very simple. It's one of the easiest things that we could absolutely do right now. And that is sit your ass in the house. Okay. So my Go Getter tip for the moment during the COVID-19 crisis is simply sit your ass in the house. Stay put. Heed the guidance of the professionals and the experts who are telling us how we can all heal and come out of the COVID-19 crisis the best that we can at this point. Like I said earlier, I just don't understand what it is that compels people to not listen to this guidance. There could be some anxiety issues. There could be some serious, whatever phobias or things that are making people just feel the need to leave. And for those people, I say, I feel you. I wish you the best. I pray that you can find peace and therapy and help and healing in that. But still, please sit your ass in the house, because there are so many things we can do during this time of shelter in place that has been mandated across many states at this point. And we can use this time to benefit or improve, any number of things that we may want to in our lives. So our finances, our careers, we can enhance our skills, we can develop more skills, we can grow our business, we can learn almost anything at this point. There are so many free resources out there. A lot of things that would have cost a great deal of money and time are now essentially being given to us. It's now being thrown at us, and we can choose to use that to make our lives better for the aftermath of coronavirus or COVID-19. Or even if you choose not to take advantage of any of the resources out there to benefit your own lives, at least sit your ass in the house for the rest of the world, so that the rest of the world can heal, so that other people will not have to mourn the loss of their loved ones, or even lose their lives due to, the selfish acts or non-act of not sitting your ass in the house of other people. Like at this point, it's not just about one person. It's not just about one community. It's not just about one case. It's about one world. And for the theme of this season to be building a better tomorrow, I think that we absolutely have to consider everyone else when we are looking at what tomorrow looks like coming out of the COVID-19 crisis. So, if anyone is offended by that statement, y'all know how to find me, DM me, email me, but I stand by my go-getter tip of the moment, which is sit your ass in the house. Let's flatten the curve. All right. Let's flatten that shit out so we can all get back to some new, I don't want to say normalcy, but so that we can get back to living, right? And not just being isolated and quarantined and mandated to stay in our homes. It feels like when you're a kid and your little sister or your cousin or somebody got in trouble or did something, but nobody was snitch and everybody got in trouble, or, you just pissed your mom or grandma off. And, even though they knew who did it, everybody got in trouble because of what one of the kids in the family did. Like, that's what this feels like. We're all on punishment because some people just can't sit their asses in the house. For those essential workers, for the grocery store workers, for the health and medical care staff, for the people out there on the front lines of this crisis and pandemic, I appreciate you. I applaud you. Thank you so much for making the selfless sacrifices that you do every day so that the rest of us can do our part. And if you're doing your part, I absolutely will do my part and make sure that anyone that I can encourage to do their part, that I will. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. I'm super excited about a lot of things coming up. So reading Arlen Hamilton's book and coming back to you guys with a review of it and just how I just know it's going to be amazing. The rest of the season, we're recording some episodes with guests tomorrow. So exciting. And yeah, welcome to season 3. Until next time, guys. Bye.